name is Anisha, and I am co-founder and CEO of CatheCare, and this is Chanan, co-founder and COO of CatheCare. Before I begin, how many of you have ever been admitted to a hospital before? Well, for those of you who raised your hands, did you know that you had a 1 in 20 chance of getting an infection from the hospital itself? You can go in to be treated for one thing and get an infection from something totally unrelated to you. And this can ultimately lead to life-threatening bloodstream infections. CatheCare was born out of life and death situations like this one. Hospital-acquired infections is the leading cause of death in the United States and worldwide. And one of the primary sources of these infections come from central lines. A central line is a long, flexible tube that's inserted into a patient's big vein that is used to administer fluids or withdraw blood for long-term patients. Central line-associated bloodstream infections, or CLABSIs, have severe consequences. But what is more tragic is the fact that this problem is entirely preventable. The hub accounts for the majority of these infection cases, and the hub is the end of the catheter that is connected to external medical devices, such as syringes, and so it's frequently manipulated and prone to contamination. To address this problem, the central line bundle was created. This is a standardized set of protocols designed to lower infection rates and includes protocols for accessing the catheter and cleaning it. For example, every time you want to access a catheter, you must follow the series of steps outlined here above. This includes vigorously scrubbing the catheter hub for 15 seconds with a disinfectant, followed by 30 seconds of drying time. Failure to comply to any of these protocols can mean that you are leaving bacteria on the catheter hub. And the story doesn't end here, because even if you're scrubbing the hub, that means that you're only momentarily creating a sterile environment around the hub. When you're in a non-sterile environment, such as a hospital room, any one of these steps can potentially contaminate the hub. This means that even if you're complying with scrubbing the hub, you're only targeting 2 out of 7 of these tasks outlined above. And so there is a very clear need for a solution to sterilize the catheter that is both effective and reliable. When you're dealing with a patient who is, say, dying from a heart attack, it's really hard to expect a nurse to say, hey, let's stop and pause and scrub the hub for 15 seconds before I administer a life-saving drug for the patient. This process is full of human error, and so it's not a surprise why compliance rates are so low. And as a result, infection rates are high. There's a clear need for a solution that is a new standard of care of sterilizing the catheter that is both effective and reliable in long-term solutions. Our solution is the CatheCare Sterilization System, or CAS. It's a small plastic device, it's this small, and it attaches onto a catheter to emit ultraviolet light to kill bacteria and sterilize the catheter, creating a zone of inhibition so that we're always able to maintain a sterile environment around the catheter hub at all times. CAS is powered by a small battery component, and the battery itself can last for up to 1 month, but the whole device can stay on to a patient for up to 1 year. To use CAS, it's very simple. You just connect it to a catheter hub and leave it on its own. When you need to inject or withdraw, you simply open the CAS cap, perform the medical procedure as usual, and then close the cap back on. Throughout this whole procedure, CAS will automatically deliver the right amount of UV to effectively kill bacteria and create a sterile environment for you. This feature of automation means that we can eliminate the entire procedure of scrubbing the hub, which means we are removing the human error component out of this problem. In addition, CAS always remains on the catheter and it's never removed, and we're always able to emit UV light to sterilize the catheter at every single event. This means that we never breach sterility at any time, and so we're very effective at preventing infection. Our CAS is based on a patented technology of which we own all the rights to. We own a U.S. utility patent that was just granted to us through the USPTO prioritized examination process. Our patent covers any apparatus and methods that treat lure connectors such as catheters, catheter hubs with ultraviolet light. And as you can see, we just got the patent granted by the USPTO. It's not issued yet because we're still waiting for some processing, but all the claims are finalized and solid. CAS is also based on proven results from a lot of our testings we have done. Even with Staphylococcus aureus, which is the hardest bacteria to kill with ultraviolet light, we are able to show that CAS effectively eradicates bacteria. We've also done other testings to confirm other of our device's features. For example, we made sure that CAS safely contains UV inside the device at all times, and so the device is very safe to use, and the UV does not escape into the outside, and it's not harmful for patients to use. The status of where we are right now is that we are in our verification phase. This means that we're just confirming certain features of CAS. We're working closely with our manufacturer, who is ISO certified, and we're going to be producing our first pilot batch very soon. This will mainly involve injection molding and assembling. We are also undergoing preclinical trials to prove efficacy and safety, and after these are done, we will be filing for an FDA application in the United States and Thailand. In the United States, we will be using the de novo route. Next year, we will be moving to the next phase, where we will be strengthening our claims of efficacy and other benefits created through our clinical trials, and we will be initiating sales. The first demographic of patients we will be targeting is the hemodialysis patients with central lines. These patients have the highest number of catheter days, and so their infection rates are extremely high. We believe that CAS is most needed in this patient group. Afterwards, we will be expanding into patients with central lines in general, as well as patients with intravenous catheters in general. CAS can be applied to any catheter that has a luer connector with a problem of hub contamination. So this is highly relevant for hospitals because ever since 2008, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid said that they will no longer reimburse any costs related to treating CLABSIs. This means that hospitals are forced to absorb all the financial costs related to CLABSIs, and they have a strong financial incentive to lower infection rates. For example, if you just look at Texas last year, they experienced 1,300 CLABSI events for acute care patients alone, which translated to $38 million. And this is just for acute care patients. So this number is a lot bigger if you take into account all the central line patients they received. This is indicative of a larger problem in the United States as a country, where we spent around $7.25 billion on CLABSIs last year. This is where CAS comes in. We are able to create a cost savings of $7.25 billion for hospitals. In addition, we can also reduce the stress and work burden placed on nurses and doctors who spend so much time caring for catheters. Most importantly, however, we are able to improve clinical outcomes for patients. We're also able to offer numerous competitive advantages compared to other products trying to get into the market. Our competitors include alcohol caps, antimicrobial coated catheters, and Lightline, which is a light-based technology. However, we distinguish ourselves by being the only solution that fully tackles the problem. And this was achieved by two main features, which is continuous sterilization and automation. The fact that we're always on the catheter hub maintaining sterility 24/7 means that we have a much lower chance of hub contamination. And the fact that we are automating the sterilization process means that we don't have to rely on humans to comply to certain procedures. And as a result, we're more effective than our competitors, and we could create higher cost savings.
By adopting CAS, hospitals can save over $400 per patient over ethanol caps. This is shown by the gray bar on the slide. Our expected suggested retail price is $100. This is a lot cheaper than our closest competitor, the ethanol caps, and will create cost savings for the hospital. Our current manufacturing price is $45 for the pilot batch and will reduce with scale. This translates to a 21% profit margin for the current device and can increase up to the 50% range. We believe that this will help us focus on delivering care value to healthcare professionals and hospitals. We price ourselves to be cheaper than other alternatives in the market in order to be able to penetrate the market quickly. We envision CAS to be the new standard of care for hospitals. To do this, we have a three-step marketing strategy. First, we plan to partner with hospitals to sell directly to them. This is achievable through our partner, BDMS. BDMS is a hospital group in Thailand with over 8,000 hospital beds. Selling directly to hospitals allow us to sell at a much lower price point, and they can reap a lot more benefits. Also, we plan to launch in New York through our network of physicians and hospitals there. By establishing a strong track record of benefits and cost saving we can deliver to hospitals, we can go to the larger market next. This is the second step where we will partner with group purchasing organizations and device distributors. These organizations have already established sales channels that can reach the end users or the healthcare personnel. We believe this will allow us to get a larger market presence to lower cost than competitors. The next step would be to either partner or get acquired by large catheter companies such as BART and Teleflex. Our products have a lot of synergy with their products, and we believe this would be the best strategy. Alternatively, we can also work with value-added resellers where they can package CAS together with catheters. This will help streamline the workflow for physicians and ease of use in hospitals. We plan to enter the market in third quarter of 2019, and this will be the first year where we can break even on our cash flow and hope to make profit by 2020. The initial market entry will be in Bangkok and New York. The total cost of development for CAS is $1.6 million. The major cost driver behind this is a clinical trial which we plan to launch next year. The team has received around $500,000 in funding through non-dilutive grants and competitive awards from organizations such as BDMS, NIH, Columbia, and USPTO. We internally as a team have also committed funding to CatheCare to bring the company forward. Our expected break-even cost of development is 45,000 units to sell to patients. This is achievable by 2020. The major milestone for CatheCare is one, obtaining FDA clearance. This is in 2019. The second one is to getting good data from our clinical trial, and finally, establishing repeated sales. These are important milestones also for companies looking to acquire us. We believe that the market in Thailand and in US are attractive markets for us to enter first, and we have offices in both locations to strategically tap into these markets. While we're committed to bringing CAS into the market, we're also excited by the products we have in our pipeline. These are mostly infection control products that will help reduce the burden on physicians in the hospital and save lives. So we're looking to raise funding of $1.5 million to fund and complete our clinical trial in the next step.
So our team is composed of individuals with a wide range of skill sets and experiences that have gotten us to where we are today, and we are very passionate about bringing this product to the hands of nurses and doctors to use in the future. However, we do acknowledge that there are some gaps in expertise and experiences among our team, and so this is where our mentors really come in. For example, Dr. Peter Schlossberg, he is an interventional radiologist at Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital. He has firsthand experiences in dealing with catheters every day, and his endorsement in our product in the future will be very crucial in bringing us a lot of confidence among physicians and hospital administrators. Kulin Himani is one of our other business advisors. He was the ex-vice president of Siemens Healthcare Enterprise Solutions, and he was named one of 25 most influential people in radiology. He has been very helpful in helping us with our business strategy. Our partnerships include the New York Entrepreneurship Lab, which is a very important network of connections we've gotten. They have a lot of people with a lot of industry experience in the healthcare field who have been very willing to help us out. And like I said before, BDMS has been a very useful partner for us and have expressed strong interest in our relationship. So thank you. We are CatheCare, and we hope to prevent infection and become the new standard of care.